Welcome back to another edition of Average Joe News Co. Today is episode 13, and we'll be bringing you a story out of Montana where a hiker impaled himself with his own hiking pole and then hiked for 6.5 more hours and 10 miles back to safety, as well as another story where a woman is suing Tesla for $10.3 million after she says her test drive car was set to insane acceleration mode and she crashed into a hair salon. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's go.
Our first story today, a Montana nurse named David Cifaldi was ascending Granite Peak, Montana's tallest mountain at 12,800 feet, with two of his friends when he slipped on rocks and impaled the side of his torso with one of his hiking poles. Cifaldi said he was able to self-assess and realize that the injury was not life-threatening in the short term. Rather than remove the pole, he and his friends retraced their route and hiked 10 miles over 6.5 hours back to the trailhead while communicating with search and rescue and monitoring his condition as it progressed. First reaction, this is awesome.
Yes! That's awesome! What? You just took one in the jugular, man! Ha! Whoa. Yes!
It's just cool to be able to say that you impaled yourself and then did a major hike while impaled. It's kind of like being bit by a shark, but in a way that's like not actually that bad. It's something you can say forever. I was attacked by a shark, but of course you don't actually want to be attacked by a shark. This guy is both very lucky that he wasn't more seriously injured and also now has an icebreaker for every single cocktail event and uncomfortable corporate gathering that he'll ever attend. Apparently he was inches away from puncturing his lung, and it really just reinforces how crazy it is that a metal pole can go through you in one place and you're in serious trouble, but 2 inches over and you can hike for 6.5 hours with relatively no problem.
Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look, it's just a flesh wound.
If I was this guy, I would be insufferable. Oh, you hiked Kilimanjaro? Were you impaled during half of that hike? Seemed like light work to me.
Light work, no reaction.
Moving on to our second story, a woman named Alamzoud Lagalet said she had never driven an EV but decided to take a Tesla for a test drive in Arlington, Virginia. That Tesla was set to insane acceleration mode.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
And Lagalet says she was improperly assured by the sales staff that the EV operated the same as a gas vehicle, and she was also not accompanied by a salesperson on the drive. She pulled away from a red light, lurched forward at an extreme speed, and crashed into a nail salon. The vehicle caught fire on impact and forced evacuation of the building. Only in America could you test drive a car, crash it into a small business, light the place on fire, and then sue because the car went too fast.
You take one swing at me, I will sue you for all you're worth. I'm not worth jack shit, Dron.
I think it's important to mention that she had already driven on the highway before this crash, and it wasn't like she turned directly out of the dealership, hit the accelerator, and smashed into a retail building. She had been driving it for a little while. Sorry to everyone who drives a Tesla, but you've really taken over from the Prius drivers as likely to be some of the most oblivious people on the road. Not everyone, of course, but anecdotally, it just feels like a higher percentage of Tesla drivers than the average other car seem to be bad drivers. Should the dealership have given her more information? Probably. Do I genuinely feel bad that she was injured and experienced this? Yes. But we need more accountability for people driving generally. There are way too many people out there on the roads who are just simply not paying attention, drive poorly, and don't seem to care or grasp the serious responsibility and potential repercussions of bad driving for themselves, but in my opinion, more importantly, for the innocent people who are around them on the road. If you get behind the wheel, it is on you to be confident that you can drive that car safely and not accelerate directly into a retail strip center. Is that such a crazy take to have? I don't think so.
You made those fucked up choices. You ruined your own life. You're not a fucking baby. For once, take some responsibility for yourself.
Okay, moving on to sports. We are in the dog days of summer. There is really not too much going on. I am not even going to recommend any baseball series today because, to be honest, the slate is pretty sad. NFL training camp has started, but I think it's really too early to do a breakdown on that. And I think in the future, we're going to have a lot of NFL recommendations in the late summer, early fall. So we're going to just breeze right past sports today. We'll keep our eye out, but it is a tough, boring period of sports at the moment. Moving on to weather, our random city of the day today is Bielsko-Bialo, Poland. The weather's looking pretty nice there. There's a high of 73, a low of 52, and it's going to be partly cloudy with mostly sun. The fun fact about Bielsko-Bialo is it's nicknamed Little Vienna because the city became wealthy in the Austro-Hungarian era due to a booming textile industry. As a result, factory owners built Art Nouveau and Neo-Baroque buildings throughout. It's considered a somewhat hidden gem within Poland. Most tourists have not put this southern city on the list. So if you're interested again in going somewhere that you're not going to see on your Instagram feed, that 10 of your friends aren't going to tell you have to go and check out, maybe Bielsko-Bialo, Poland is the spot for you. Thanks so much. This is another edition of Average Joe News Co. We'll be back with episodes Wednesday through Friday the rest of this week. Thanks again. Hit the music.